Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are digging into an action plan that sees the future of AI as something else entirely. Not a group project, but a flat-out race. A race America, according to this document, has to win.
So let's dive right in. The entire plan, which is projected for July 2025, really hinges on this one core idea. It's basically saying that the sprint for AI leadership, that's not just about cool new tech. It's about national security, period. And the plan, which is called America's AI Action Plan, well, it doesn't mince words. The goal is super clear. It's saying that whoever wins this AI race doesn't just get a stronger economy or a more advanced military. No, they get to write the rule book for everyone else.
So, how do they plan to do it? The whole strategy is built on three main pillars. And the first one? It's all about hitting the accelerator on innovation. The idea is to basically clear the runway so the private sector can innovate faster than anyone else on the planet. A huge part of this is deregulation. The plan really frames this as a big pivot, moving away from what it describes as onerous regulation, and instead just cutting the red tape. That means getting rid of a previous executive order on AI and taking a hard look at any federal rule that might be slowing things down. Now, the plan gets pretty specific on how to do this. For one, it wants to encourage open source models to really kick innovation into high gear. But it also wants to reshape some key government standards. For instance, it talks about removing words like misinformation and DEI from the big NIST AI risk management framework. And all this is supposed to happen while pushing what it calls a worker-first agenda.
And this worker-first AI agenda is a really big deal in the document. It spends a lot of time on it. The key message here is that AI should be a tool to help American workers. To complement them, not to replace them. The stated goal is to actually create new, high-paying jobs and jack up productivity, which of course means we'd need a huge effort to help the workforce get skilled up for all these changes.
Okay, so once innovation is flying, the plan shifts to pillar number 2. And this one is all about the physical stuff. I'm talking about building the massive infrastructure that a world-class AI ecosystem actually runs on. And you can really sum up the entire vibe of this section with a phrase they actually use in the plan. Build, baby, build. It's meant to be a rallying cry for a massive, urgent construction blitz. We're talking data centers, chip factories, and a seriously beefed-up power grid to run it all.
So how do you make that happen so fast? Well, the plan points directly at things like the National Environmental Policy Act, that's NEPA, and says we need to streamline it to get these big projects moving quicker. It also wants to take the CHIPS program funding and really focus it on one thing: bringing that critical semiconductor manufacturing back home to the U.S.
But you can't just build all this stuff out of thin air. You need people. So a really critical piece of this puzzle is training up a skilled workforce. We're talking about electricians, HVAC techs, all the hands-on jobs needed to fill the new high-paying positions this boom is expected to create. All right, that brings us to the third and final pillar, which is all about taking this whole strategy global. See, it's not enough to just win on home turf. It's about projecting American leadership and locking down U.S. interests all over the world.
And the plan has a very clear two-pronged approach for this. For our allies, the idea is to export the entire American AI technology stack, the hardware, the models, the software, making it the gold standard everywhere. But for adversaries, it's the opposite. The policy is to tighten the screws, to really strengthen those export controls on advanced chips and the tools to make them.
And you got to understand, this isn't just a tech strategy. It's also about diplomacy and, frankly, enforcement. The plan talks about getting in there and actively pushing back against Chinese influence in international organizations and, at the same time, aggressively closing any loopholes in our current export controls. It's all about keeping that strategic edge. So what's the end game here? What does winning actually look like according to this plan? The final part of the document paints a pretty grand picture of what America could be if it comes out on top in this AI race.
This quote from the document itself really says it all, doesn't it? It captures the incredible scale of the ambition here. The vision is for AI to kick off a new golden age, an industrial revolution, an information revolution, and a renaissance all rolled into one.
I mean, we're talking about the kind of thing that could lead to just massive economic growth and scientific breakthroughs. And that's pretty much the whole plan in a nutshell. It lays out a very clear, very aggressive roadmap for what it calls victory. But it also leaves us all with this one big question to chew on. In a race that could change literally everything, what does that finish line even look like?